Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah, it's basically just what it sounds like. Can you start a business
With $100.
with just $100? And we've got some really interesting sources here that break down
How to do it.
exactly, how this whole thing actually works, like what kind of businesses are a good fit for this,
Yeah.
and even a real world example of somebody who actually did it. So,
Cool.
is this even possible?
That's the question.
That's the question. That's what we're to find out.
I love that this concept just like forces you to be so resourceful and creative.
Right.
Because you've only got $100.
You don't have a lot of wiggle room.
No, you have to validate your idea so quickly. Like you don't have, money to spend on
Fancy market research.
right or some big launch.
Yeah.
It's about proving the concept.
So it's about more than just like being thrifty.
Oh yeah, it's about like stripping away all the bells and whistles and getting down to like the core of your business idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Does anybody actually want this? Can you actually make money from it, right away?
Okay, so let's lay down the ground rules here. I mean, we know it's a $100 budget,
Yeah, that's the big one.
but what else?
So you have 30 days.
30 days.
30 days to start generating revenue.
Oh, okay.
That's the real test.
Okay.
So no dipping into your savings.
Right.
No investors.
Pure hustle.
Just pure hustle and ingenuity.
Okay.
And the great thing is you don't need any prior business experience.
Oh, that's nice.
Like anyone can do this.
That's a huge barrier removed for a lot of people.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so the sources also emphasize this idea of scalability. Why is that so important, like, in this context?
Well, because the $100 startup, it's not just about making like a quick $100 and then calling it a day. The idea is to build something that has like growth potential, like maybe something that could eventually, replace your 9 to 5. So when you're brainstorming ideas, think beyond just those initial 30 days.
Yeah, okay.
Think bigger.
Think long term.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Brainstorm time. I love this part. What are some business ideas that fit this low-cost, high-impact model? I mean, I'm seeing a lot about digital services in our sources.
Digital services are great for this.
Yeah.
Because you don't need a lot to get started.
Right.
And think about those like niche freelancing skills.
Ooh, niche freelance.
Yeah. So like instead of saying I'm a writer, maybe you specialize in writing like super engaging chatbot scripts.
Oh, okay.
Those are in high demand right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or, for social media, instead of just like managing posts, maybe you offer a service where you create those like short, viral, TikTok style videos.
That makes sense.
For businesses.
Yeah, for businesses. Okay. I see the appeal. You're leveraging the skills that you have without needing a ton of, upfront investment.
Yep.
What about virtual assisting?
Virtual assisting is huge right now.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs are always looking for help.
With
scheduling, with inbox management, even like travel arrangements.
Oh, wow.
The key is to specialize. So maybe you become the go-to VA for podcasters or online course creators.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so you got me thinking now about selling products with such a tiny budget. Is that even realistic?
For sure. And for this, digital products are your best friend.
Oh.
So think about creating an ebook.
Okay.
Or like a comprehensive guide on a specific topic. Or design some of those like eye-catching printable planners that everybody's crazy about right now.
Yes, the printables. Everybody loves printable.
If you've got knowledge to share, package it into an online course.
There are tons of platforms for that now.
So many platforms. Thinkific.
Yeah.
Podia.
Mm-hmm.
They make it so easy to create and sell your online course. And the best part is, once you create it, you can sell it over and over again.
That's the beauty of it, right? Okay, so we got digital services, we got digital products, but I'm still hung up on the idea of physical products. Like, how could you possibly sell, let's say, T-shirts with only $100?
Print on demand.
Print on demand, what is that?
It's like your secret weapon for physical products.
Okay.
So sites like Printify, Printful, they handle everything.
Everything.
They print it, they ship it.
Oh, wow.
They even handle customer service. You just design it and upload your design. And then list those designs on your platform of choice.
So if somebody buys a T-shirt with my design on it, and then Printify just like makes it appear.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
How does that even work?
They have a whole network of printing facilities.
Okay.
Worldwide.
Oh, wow.
So when an order comes in, they print it at the facility that's closest to the customer.
Okay.
Ship it directly to them.
Wow.
Brand it as your store. And you never touch any inventory.
Oh, Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, what if you're more, hands-on? You like making things.
Yeah, you like creating things.
You like the creation side of things.
Etsy.
Etsy.
Etsy's the perfect marketplace for that.
Okay.
Handmade crafts, jewelry, even small batch candles.
Yeah.
You can start small, see what resonates with buyers without a huge upfront investment.
Okay, so we've got digital services, digital products, even physical products.
Mm-hmm.
What about those of us who love, scouring flea markets and thrift stores for hidden treasures?
I love doing that.
I do too.
That's reselling and flipping.
Reselling and flipping.
A classic for a reason.
A classic.
You can find amazing things at thrift stores, estate sales.
Yeah.
And then resell them for a profit on places like eBay, Poshmark.
Oh, yeah.
So many options.
And then there's also this thing, retail arbitrage. You mentioned it earlier. What is that? How does that fit into the $100 startup?
So retail arbitrage, it's basically finding clearance items or heavily discounted products at big retailers and then reselling them online.
Oh, okay.
So it takes some research, a good eye for deals.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a viable option for this challenge.
Wow, so many possibilities here.
I know.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks.
Yep.
How do you break down that tiny $100 budget?
All right, so let's make a sample budget. Your biggest expense is likely going to be your online presence. So domain names, basic web hosting, you can find those for $20 to $30 on sites like Namecheap.
And you can't forget marketing, even with a limited budget.
For sure. Allocate $20 to $40 for some targeted social media ads.
20 to 40.
You'd be surprised what you can do with that. It's not a lot, but if you're strategic,
Okay.
you can get in front of the right people.
All right. What else is essential?
So free tools like Canva for design, Google Workspace,
Yeah.
for your email, your docs,
No.
those are lifesavers.
Yeah.
But depending on your business model, you might want to set aside $10 to $20 for paid features or tools that just make your life easier.
Okay. And then the product itself.
Right. So factor in those initial product costs.
Yep.
It could be design software, raw materials, a few thrifted items, whatever.
Yeah.
But probably around, $10 to $50.
Depending on the business. Okay, so we've got our budget planned out. We brainstormed some ideas. We know the rules of the $100 startup.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Where do we go from here?
Well, now it's time to put those ideas into action. And these first 30 days, they're critical.
Okay.
So all the sources we looked at, they kind of break down the challenge into phases.
Okay.
Each one has its own focus.
Yeah.
Action steps.
Right.
Think of it like a roadmap to your first sale and beyond.
I love a good roadmap analogy. So what's our first stop on this journey?
The first 5 days are all about validation.
Okay. Validation.
Before you spend a single dollar, you got to make sure there's a real demand for your brilliant idea.
Okay. We'll dive into the specifics next time. But yeah, we want to make sure people actually want this.
For sure.
Okay, so the first 5 days, the validation phase. We want to make sure there's a real demand for our idea before we even start building a website or designing a logo. How do we actually go about validating an idea?
It's more than just asking your friends and family if they think it's a good idea,
Mhm.
You need to get some real market data, see if there's actual interest from your target audience.
So where do we start? What are the tools or techniques we can use to actually get that validation?
One of the easiest ones is Google Trends.
Oh, Google Trends.
Yeah. It's a gold mine of information
And it's free.
and completely free. You can see how often people are searching for specific keywords that are related to your business idea.
So if I'm thinking about creating those online courses for podcasters, I'd type in podcasting courses or how to start a podcast.
Exactly. And Google Trends will show you the search volume for those terms over time.
So you can see if interest is increasing, decreasing, or staying about the same.
Exactly. And that can give you a good sense of the overall demand.
That's great for gauging overall interest, but how do we know if people are actually willing to pay for something like that?
That's where you do some competitor research.
Okay.
See what other online courses for podcasters are out there. What are they charging? How many students have they enrolled? That kind of thing.
So it's about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Enough demand to justify creating the course, but not so much competition that you just get lost in the noise.
You got it. And another tactic is to go straight to the source.
Okay.
Engage with your target audience directly.
Okay.
Go to those online communities, forums where podcasters hang out.
So not just lurking and observing, but actually participating in the conversation.
Yes, ask questions. What are the biggest challenges? What kind of resources are they looking for?
And the sources we looked at, they even suggest offering a free or low-cost mini course or workshop.
Yeah, that's a great way to test the waters.
As a way to test the waters.
You see if people are actually willing to invest their time.
Their time, yeah.
And even a small amount of money in what you have to offer.
And get some feedback.
Tons of feedback.
From those early participants to refine your course.
Yeah.
Okay, so we validated our idea. We're feeling confident that there's a market for it. What's next on our $100 startup roadmap?
Days 6 through 10 are all about setup.
Okay.
Setting up the foundations of your business.
Yeah.
Think of it as building your virtual storefront,
Okay.
but on a shoestring budget.
On a shoestring budget. All right. So we're talking website, branding, social media, right? How do we do all that without breaking the bank?
First, you're going to need a domain name, your online address.
Okay.
Luckily, there are tons of affordable options out there.
Yeah.
Namecheap, Google domains are great places to start. You can usually snag a .com for like $10 to $15 a year.
And then comes the website. I mean, we're not talking about building some complex e-commerce platform here, right?
Yeah. No. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Functional, affordable. Platforms like Card are perfect for this.
Card, okay.
You can create those beautiful one-page websites that are great for showcasing your services or products.
So, like, if I'm offering my online course for podcasters, I could have a card site with, like, a description of the course, some testimonials from early participants,
Yes.
and a call to action to enroll.
Love it. And you can get that set up for under $10 a month.
That's not bad. And while you're at it, create a simple logo and visual identity.
Canva.
It's free.
It's a lifesaver.
It really is.
And don't forget to set up your social media accounts.
Social media, you got to pick the right platforms. Right?
Absolutely. Depends on your target audience. If you're targeting podcasters, maybe Twitter and LinkedIn are good bets. Those are popular with professionals and creators.
And Instagram is a must for those visually driven businesses.
Yes, like those print-on-demand shops we were talking about.
Exactly. Focus on the platforms where your ideal customers are hanging out.
For sure.
Okay, we've got our website up. Our branding looks good. We're building a following on social media. What's next in this whirlwind 30-day challenge?
Days 11 through 25. It's all about marketing and sales.
Okay, marketing and sales. It's time to put on your marketing hat and get the word out about your brilliant business.
Yeah.
But how do we do that effectively with such a small budget? What are some, like, creative, low-cost marketing tactics?
Content marketing is your best friend here.
Okay.
Create valuable content that resonates with your audience.
Okay, so, like, if we're sticking with that online course example, I could, like, create blog posts about podcasting tips, or host a free webinar on a specific aspect of podcasting, or even start a podcast about podcasting.
I love it. Showcase your expertise, build trust, position yourself as the go-to expert in your niche, and don't forget about social media.
But we can't rely on just organic reach, can we? Especially with those algorithms constantly changing.
That's where that tiny ad budget comes in.
Okay.
Even $20 or $40 can go a long way if you're strategic about it.
What does strategic social media advertising even look like on a $100 startup budget?
Laser-focused targeting. You got to make sure you're reaching the right people with the right message at the right time.
So if I'm, like, promoting my online course for podcasters, I wouldn't just target anyone who's interested in podcasting. I'd narrow it down to people who are actively engaging with podcasting content. Maybe even people who've, like, expressed interest in starting your own podcast but haven't taken the leap yet.
You got it. And don't be afraid to experiment with different ad formats and messaging to see what resonates.
Okay, so we're creating content, we're running ads, but what about those all-important first few sales? How do we get those first few customers through the door?
Offer introductory pricing or discounts.
Oh, okay.
To incentivize those early adopters.
Yeah.
People love a good deal.
I do.
And it can help you build momentum.
Yeah.
With those testimonials.
Testimonials, social proof.
It's so important when you're just starting out. And don't forget about networking.
Networking. Everybody's favorite.
Attend online events, join Facebook groups, connect with people in your niche.
Building those relationships. Yeah, I see that. So it could lead to collaborations. Referrals, maybe even your first few customers.
Absolutely.
All right. Those first 3 weeks of the challenge are intense. What happens as we enter the final phase of this 30-day sprint?
The last 5 days are all about scaling and improvement.
Okay, scaling and improvement. So we've planted the seeds, we've nurtured them, and now it's time to, like, focus on sustainable growth. So we validated our idea, built a basic online presence, we're marketing our hearts out, and hopefully we're starting to see some sales trickle in. What are the key actions we need to take in these final days to make sure that our $100 startup doesn't just fizzle out?
It's time to analyze the data. Look at your sales numbers, your website traffic, any customer feedback you've gotten.
Yeah,
What's working? What can you improve?
I like that. This is where we separate the hobbyists from the entrepreneurs.
That's right. It's about taking a critical look at your progress,
Right.
identifying your wins,
Mm-hmm.
and those areas where you can do better.
So it's not just about celebrating those early sales. It's about understanding why those sales happened and how we can replicate that success.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Maybe you try different pricing strategies, or you expand your product offerings based on the feedback you've gotten, or explore some new marketing channels.
Now, all the sources stress this. Reinvest those early profits back into the business. I know it can be tempting to just pocket that extra cash, but reinvesting is how you fuel future growth.
Think of it like planting those seeds, nurturing them,
Mm-hmm.
and then giving them the right fertilizer to help them flourish.
I like that analogy. Okay, so even with the best fertilizer, sometimes our plants need a little extra support to reach their full potential. How do we take our $100 startup to the next level?
Explore new avenues for expansion.
Okay.
Can you add any additional services that complement your existing offerings?
So, like, sticking with that online course example, maybe I could offer, like, one-on-one coaching sessions for podcasters who need more personalized guidance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe partner with other businesses in the podcasting space
Oh, okay.
to cross-promote each other's products.
Okay, and what about automation? How can that help us scale without burning ourselves out?
Oh, automation can be a game changer.
Yeah.
Think about things like email marketing automation. Set up a welcome sequence for new subscribers, or create automated email campaigns to promote your products or services.
And there's tools for scheduling your social media posts?
Yes, so helpful. You can batch, create your content, and schedule it to go out throughout the week.
Yeah.
Frees up your time to focus on other things.
Okay, so those last 5 days of the challenge, they're about putting everything together,
Mm-hmm.
analyzing your results, setting yourself up for long-term success.
Exactly. Remember, the $100 startup, it's just the beginning.
It's a starting point.
It's about proving your concept,
Yeah.
gaining that experience, building momentum that you can carry forward.
It's really amazing to think that such a small investment can lead to big possibilities.
It's all about mindset. It's
Yeah.
about resourcefulness
Yeah.
and taking action.
Yeah.
And anyone can do it.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. You know, the practical steps, the mindset shifts, the whole 9 yards of this $100 startup challenge. But before we wrap things up, I think it's worth talking about something that came up in a lot of the sources. Those sneaky psychological traps, the
Yeah.
ones that can really trip people up when they're trying to launch a business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because you can have a solid plan, all the resources in the world, but if you're battling those internal beliefs and those fears, that's where things can fall apart.
Absolutely. So what are some of the most common mental blocks people face? And, more importantly, how do we actually work through them? I think a big one is this feeling that you need to have this totally revolutionary, never been done before idea to be successful.
Right, like it has to be some huge breakthrough. But honestly, most successful businesses, they're not built on these crazy inventions.
Mm.
It's about solving everyday problems, real problems that people face. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, just make it roll a little smoother for a specific group of people.
So it's finding that niche, understanding what they really need, and providing a solution that they can't get anywhere else.
Exactly. And that solution doesn't have to be super complex either. Sometimes it's just taking an existing idea and adding your own twist. Maybe a new approach, a different delivery method, a more personalized experience. Sometimes the smallest tweaks make the biggest difference.
Now, another mental block that I hear about all the time is fear of failure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people get so paralyzed by the thought of things not working out that they just don't even try.
I get that. It's understandable, right?
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there, starting a business, it feels so vulnerable.
For sure.
But what if? Like, what if we flip the script on that a little bit? What if failure isn't the opposite of success? What if it's just part of the journey?
So, like, instead of letting fear hold us back, we should see those failures as data points. Every time something doesn't work, it's telling us something valuable. It's guiding us closer to what will work.
Exactly. And with this $100 startup challenge, the stakes are pretty low.
Yeah, you're not risking a ton of money.
Even if it doesn't pan out exactly how you pictured it, you've gained experience. Those lessons learned, they're super valuable no matter what.
And I think another big hurdle is feeling unqualified or unprepared. People think they need an MBA, tons of industry experience, a mountain of capital.
Like they need permission from somebody to get started.
Right, exactly. But this $100 startup idea, it kind of throws all that out the window, doesn't it?
It really does. It shows you that you don't need all those fancy credentials to build something successful. Resourcefulness, a willingness to learn,
Yeah.
and a bias toward action. That's what matters.
And sometimes, honestly, the best education is just diving in.
Learning by doing. Figuring things out in real time.
And let's be real, there are so many free resources online.
Articles, videos, podcasts, online courses. You can learn anything.
Anything.
So if you're feeling stuck, don't let that be an excuse.
Reach out to people, find mentors. There are communities online. Tap into that collective wisdom.
Remember, every successful entrepreneur started somewhere. They had doubts, they had uncertainties, but what sets them apart is they pushed through those mental barriers and just took action.
So to all our listeners out there, if you're feeling fired up by this $100 startup challenge, but also a little intimidated, take a deep breath.
Silence that inner critic.
You are capable of so much more than you think. Start small. Test your ideas, use the resources around you, and don't be afraid to ask for help. A little bit of money, a lot of heart, the right mindset, that's a powerful combination.
It really is. The world needs your unique talents and your ideas.
So go out there and build something amazing.
We'll be cheering you on.
Yeah.
And be sure to check out our website. We've got tons of resources there, inspiring stories, and a whole community of $100 startup enthusiasts.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of the $100 Startup Challenge. We hope you found this episode informative, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit life-changing.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.